What's up, everybody? Today's video is titled How to Be a Good Doctor. And the simplest way I'm gonna tell you right now, and then we'll get into detail, is just understanding people, being able to see other people, understand where they're coming from, and take in their perspective. So to get into some more detail, this video will be quick, rapid fire, and to the point, right? And if you see me looking down, I have a few notes that I took just to make sure I cover everything. So to begin, I want you guys to kind of hear this at home, but there's a saying, a Chinese saying that I always stuck with me. And it says that a person's toothache means more to them than a famine killing 1 million people in China. And that quote is just to say that everyone is self-interested. Everyone is worried about themselves, right? And I was always told that the first rule of life, right? The first law of life is don't die, meaning like survive and live to see the next generation, right? And because of that rule of the law of self-preservation, most people are only interested in themselves. They never actually look past themselves and look at others, right? So to be a good doctor, you have to take yourself out of the picture. Medicine is a service-based business, right? So you're coming in, you have patients that come in and you want to tell them exactly what's going on with their body, and you want to create a shared plan that they'll accept, right? That'll help them get this resolution. So in creating this plan, you can't be offended if they come at you sideways. You can't be petty. No place for that. You can't try to impose your will, try to impose your treatment plan, try to impose your beliefs on them. You don't matter. It's the patient. It's the person that you're seeing, and you want to enter their own state of mind. And remember that, yeah, a person's toothache matters more to them than a famine killing millions in China. So the first concept is that knowing that people are self-interested. Second thing is learning about people. Man, you'd be surprised how much people give away by their appearance, by their name, and things like that. Like if you just see someone's name, you can actually understand where in the country they're from. Some people that have 4 last names are from areas in Africa, West Africa, or even South Africa, things like that. Some people have, Mandarin last names. You understand that, okay, they're from the east of the world, right? Some people have Slavic, Russian, and Ukrainian, and things like that. That's my accent. And, you understand that, okay, they're from this portion of the world. And then understanding, just the name tells you where they're from sometimes. And once you get the name, you can understand the culture. Okay, what is the culture in the eastern side of the world? What is the culture in Africa? What is the culture in South America and the land countries? In land countries, people are more family oriented, right? They make shared decisions together. In African countries, they're more like hardworking. They're about discipline and things of that sort, right? They're more into natural herbs and remedies. In Eastern European countries, they have different ways, different beliefs, right? So understanding like what information can you gather just from someone's name, and then taking that information and seeing that, okay, this person's from this world, this region of the world. What do these people in this region believe in? How do they act? If you have a patient from the eastern side of the world, let's say an Asian country, a lot of them don't really do eye contact. Like, respect is coming into the room, maybe putting your hand on your chest, looking down. That's a sign of respect. Direct eye contact is offensive. Whereas in the States, if someone doesn't look you in the eye, it's almost as if they're scared of you or they don't like you or things like that. So understanding cultural taboos, this is very important too because of space, right? Like sometimes some cultures are very close, right? Like they appreciate if you're close to them talking in their face. Other cultures are very distant. They want their space. They want you to be away from them. So you have to understand cultural taboos. Another thing too is like, in understanding cultures, you kind of start to create this directory in your mind of like this person from this area has these characteristics, these facial characteristics. This person from South America has these characteristics. This person from the eastern side of South America, like Brazil and these countries, have these characteristics. People from the islands have these different accents. So understanding this can actually help you connect with someone very, very easily. One hack I've actually used is like, I have like introductions in different languages. So I have an introduction in French. French is my first language. So if I come into a room and I hear that the patient speaks French, I say, bonjour, je m'appelle Ivan, je suis le docteur aujourd'hui qui va te traiter. That means, hi, my name is Ivan, I'll be the doctor treating you today. Perfect. Spanish, I don't speak Spanish, I'm gonna learn it, but I have something in my notebook about Spanish. Hola, señora, me llamo es Ivan, right? Hi, my name is Ivan in Spanish. Now that just kind of takes that tension, that nerves that they were feeling while coming into the hospital, and it just diminishes it. So having introductions in different countries. I have one in Mandarin. Ni hao, wa zhao, Ivan, hengao xing, jingqiang, ren xini. Hi, my name is Ivan. It's a pleasure to meet you. I use this. I actually went to get groceries, believe this or not. I went to get groceries in Chinatown in New York, and the ladies were like, it was like a butcher, right? So they're chopping up meats and selling you meats. And I introduced myself like that, and they gave me a discount. I promise you, they gave me a discount because of that. So understanding people's cultures, understanding Russian, like hi is privet, right? So knowing a few words, and these things just help you connect with the other human being so that the other person feels seen. It's actually crazy because, in relationships, girls always have the complaint that I just don't feel seen, right? And, as guys, you hear that, you're like, what does that mean to feel seen? Well, it's exactly what I'm telling you. Feeling like someone understands where you're coming from, understands your background, understands why you believe what you believe in, understands why you act the way you act. So, guys, understanding someone's culture, understanding introductions in different cultures, understanding cultural taboos, what not to do, what to do, and getting that from the first name, or even just asking questions. Another thing too is like clothing, right? People wear clothes that reveal everything. Right now, I have a gray shirt on because it helps with the lighting. Quite frankly, honest to God truth. Some people come in with a shirt from the University of Southern California, right? Some people come in with a necklace that has their name or their boyfriend or girlfriend's name on it, right? Some people come in with a diamond ring, a very nice rock, right? Some people come in with just different hairdos or earring styles, or they're wearing different clothes. So ask questions. Hey, what do you do for work? I see you have these pants with these stains on it. The guy may tell you, hey, I do construction, or the other person may say, hey, I'm actually a chef. Or I see you have University of Southern California soccer. Were you a soccer player in your past? Oh, yeah, I am. I was actually a soccer player. And you'd be surprised. Some people have actually never been asked a question about themselves because everyone is so self-interested. You walk outside and people are just the phone and everyone just in their phone. It's almost like it's the opposite. When you see kids, though, kids are actually walking and they're looking at you. Their eyes are open. They're scanning the room because they have that zeal for life. They're still eager to learn. Adults have everything figured out, allegedly, right? So they're not really looking to learn things. They're not really open, expansive, and things like that. So that's another thing, right? Understanding what a parent is telling you. Second thing, I'm gonna look down my notes real quick. Whenever you are taking a history, seeing what someone came to the hospital with, after you've asked all your questions and you've done all the pleasantries, the highs and hellos, before you leave, ask them, hey, what have you not told me? What do you want to tell me that you haven't told me that you think may not be important? And honestly, sometimes it's actually how you figure out why someone came to the hospital. Like I know some people that they'll come to the hospital for a cough, right? You do all this stuff for cough, you ask the questions, and then really at the end, when you ask this question, they're like, yeah, can I also get an STD check? And you realize that the reason they came was because they actually wanted an STD test, right? So you have to see, you have to ask the person, why exactly? Is there anything you haven't told me? And then you have to also realize, context clues, right? You got to use your common sense, but you got to know, what is the reason that they actually came to the hospital? Like today, I saw this lady, she came with her son, and she was talking about how he had high fever and all this stuff. She gave him medications for that. But at the end of the conversation, I realized that she's working and she doesn't want to take off another day from work. So she really was in the hospital just to get some tests to see if her son had the flu or COVID or something like this, right? That was really what she wanted. And if she would have left that interaction without getting those tests, she would have went home frustrated. And people won't always tell you. You have to learn how to mind read. It's actually crazy. If you ask enough questions, you learn how to mind read, right? So I think that's super helpful for anyone working in a hospital, anyone working in a career where you're dealing with human beings and different people. Because human beings, we're all kind of similar in that way, in that we want to be understood. We wear things to represent ourselves. We try to show our personalities. We're interested in ourselves. And the person that takes themselves out the equation and becomes like the other, sees from their perspective, is ultimately the winner. So I have a few more things to say before we close off on this video. And dealing with people, another thing you always want to remember is doctors that actually call their patients. So, surgeons that do surgeries and they actually call patients after, they actually get less lawsuits because the patient actually sees the humanity in a doctor. They talk to the person, they feel cared for, and they're less likely to sue them. That's not the reason why you should act in this way and, care about people, but it is just another proof, right? It's just another thing that tells you that this stuff actually works. And yeah, just remember to stay away from your beliefs. Your beliefs don't matter, man. Everyone's beliefs are so complex. You'll be surprised. Your beliefs are founded on your upbringing, what you've experienced, where your life is right now, what your family thinks. Your beliefs are so complex, right? So if you tell someone you believe in this and they believe in the opposite, sometimes people aren't, reflective enough to actually hear you out or hear your perspective. They just may see you as an enemy. And if they see you as an enemy, they close up, right? So beliefs, no need to say your beliefs, right? It doesn't matter. This is like a service. We're offering a service. And this works for friendships. This works for relationships and things like that. So to keep your beliefs out the picture, and then just, being a bro, being someone that is hip to the culture. You're dealing with younger kids. Like, you should understand TikTok. You should understand like how they're seeing life. Understand high school. Think back to when you were in high school. What were you dealing with at that time? One question I like to ask a lot is like, hey, what's your story? And most people, they're kind of taken back, like, oh, my story. And they go into whatever they want to share. Or sometimes if you're dealing with kids, like, you can ask them. You can say, hey, how old are you? And one kid told me, like, I'm 7. And I was like, man, what's it like being 7? And they'll tell you all kinds of stuff. And everything that someone shares to you is important. And in terms of like, connecting with someone on a human to human level, I actually got this story. I like telling stories. Like, I got this story. It's like a police story. There's this guy driving, and I think he was in Texas or something, but he was driving, kind of speeding. He knew he was speeding to the gym, and the cop, the lights turn on behind him. Cops behind him. Cop stops him. The guy pulls over the car. The cop knocks on his window. The guy sitting there, nervous, looks up, sees the cop, right? Rolls his window down, a little nervous, looking up. Asks the cop. He looks at the cop, and the cop says, "Hey, why do you think I stopped you?" And the guy says, "Sir, I was speeding." And the cop says, "Yeah, why are you speeding?" And the guy says, "Officer, listen, I just took some pre-workout. I'm going to the gym, and I am pumped." And the officer laughed. They both laughed. The officer laughed. The cop laughed. The person driving laughed. And the cop said, "Hey, man, stop speeding, but get to the gym." He didn't give him a ticket because he connected on a human-to-human level. He could see himself in the other person's shoes. So, man, the key to being a good doctor is understanding people, right? Getting into the mind of another person. And this is also the key to just being a good friend, a good relationship mate, a good teammate, a good business partner, all the above, right? Understanding people. And that is the name of the game. So remember, a person's toothache matters more to them than a famine killing millions in China. That's the video for you guys. Thank you for listening. If you stayed to the end. Out.